Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's so good to see you.
It
I
is
feel
so good
like
to see you.
I'm going to reach out and touch.
I know, a virtual hug.
So, welcome to the pandemic
Thank you.
and the pause that we all are experiencing as the world just kind of pauses for a minute.
hmm
I don't know about you, but I've been hearing some wonderful birds. Mother Nature is just happy to have humans settle a bit.
Absolutely. I've been hearing all types of things, and I'm posted up pandemic here in California, and so I get to go do a little bit of nature stuff where I don't run into anybody. So I've seen some deer, some snakes, unfortunately, some all types of stuff. So they're out for sure.
Wow. So we're talking to Elena Pinderhughes. I'm Monique Martin. I'm the Director of Programming for Harlem Stage, and it's an honor and a pleasure to talk to my Bay Area little sister
Yes, my big
from
sister.
Bay. And I'm so envious that you're there now. And I talk to my family and they're on the deck or they're going hiking or they're going on car rides.
Right.
um, I get a little bit envious, but soon we will all be together.
Yes, we
So
will.
tell me just a couple of things that have been keeping you grounded and what's your mooring during this time?
I think there's a couple things that be keeping me grounded. I think, interestingly enough, nature and the naturalness of what I'm able to experience here has been really, really grounding for me. Even just, and the same goes for New York as well. I try to take walks and I try to be as much a part of the natural world as I can, especially if I'm, tucked up with my technology for most of the day. I'll take a walk or I'll, try to just relate a little bit to the world around me. Also music for sure. This has been a time where I shifted my whole stuff and I said, okay, I'm not going to be touring during the summer like we usually are, because those are the summer months are the heavy touring months. So I said, okay, well, it's going to be a full exploration and recording time. And so I've been lucky and fortunate enough to have a setup here of, I have my microphone, my interface, and my speakers. And, I do every day. I work on some stuff and I'm working on writing some new things and I'm working on exploring some new sounds and developing my skills as a producer as well, and trying to just, do as much of this stuff as I can on my own. So that's been keeping me grounded, and family as well.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, say hello to your parents. I met
I
your dad for the
will.
first time when you were performing at the Blue Note
Oh my
with
goodness.
Christian Scott, and I was actually
hmm
sitting right next to your dad and
I
had
love
no
that. I
idea.
love that. What a coincidence. That's perfect.
Yeah, so it was great to watch him watching you, not knowing, or watching the band, and then
Yeah.
afterwards knowing that it was you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you are together with family. And again, your introduction to Harlem Stage was also via Christian Scott. So I'd love to hear about that relationship and also about the new music that we're going to hear.
Yeah. So, Harlem Stage is a very special place for me because it was my first gig that I ever did as a part of Christian's band, which was one of my first experiences in the city, being in a band in New York. And, you come from wherever in the world and you come to experience New York, which is the heart and soul of what jazz is today and has been for many, many years. And so to be able to experience that at Harlem Stage was a really special moment. I remember everything about it, down to what I was wearing and how I felt and everything. Like I was a baby. I think I was 17 or 18. And so it was really special. My brother was there as well. And it's crazy
Was
because
he performing
he
as
was,
well in the band?
he sat in.
Or was
He
it-
sat in and played. Lawrence Fields was playing piano, but he did play that night as well. And it was actually a really special performance. It was a deck test. It was 10 of us. He had
Christian was deep.
percussion. Yeah, he had duns. He had djembe. He had regular 2 drum sets as well. Joe and Corey were playing. We had vibraphone, saxophone, flute, 2 singers, Christian playing trumpet, piano, bass, drums. So we had everything. And it was so special. And I really at that moment felt the presence of the Harlem Stage family, and hopefully some of you guys are watching this. And what a beautiful space and extension of space the staff, everybody was so inclusive, so wonderful. And for me, I really feel that coming into spaces, especially as a woman, being oftentimes the only woman the staff were so wonderful to me, and I was really young at the time, and everybody there just came and embraced me. It was like, little sis, hi, blah blah blah. And so I always felt very, very loved and welcome there, and I still to this day do. So I really appreciate that.
Harlem Stage does have a unique, welcoming staff. I was fortunate. That was my beginning of working with Harlem Stage in 2017. So shout out to Simone Eccleston, who
Yes,
brought
shout out.
Christian to Harlem Stage. And so I feel so blessed that I was able to carry the torch as she passed the baton with the Stretch Music residency that lasted for years, and introduced Harlem Stage to you and so many other incredible musicians and artists, visual arts, photographers. Christian rolls with a broad range.
We sure do. We're a large pack.
yeah, right. Fashion, and many of those artists are now part of the Harlem Stage family, you included. So tell me, well, first of all, congratulations. You just have been received an award. Tell us about your
thank you.
award.
Yes, I received an award with the it's through the New York Foundation for the Arts, but it's a special thing called the New York Women's Fund for Media and Music, and it's really amazing. They gave me a grant to finish some music and to work on some new music, and I'm really excited for people to hear that. And yeah, I'm working on it right now. So, as well as some other things that are in the works as well. So this is going to be a producing time for me.
Great. And what would you say to artists that may need support during this time? We have on the Harlem Stage website a list of a lot of resources for composers, musicians, choreographers, so you can find information on our website. And I'd love for you to share with artists, especially young emerging artists, some of your successes and some of your challenges around securing funding for your work.
Yes. So I am a little bit newer to the grant and understanding of that whole part of branch, I would say, of our music industry, because it really is a whole branch in its own. And I'm starting to understand more about it. My brother has helped me understand more, and I've just been researching, and I think it's really important to go for a lot of things, because I think in my experience, you apply to a lot of things and you might get one, and you might not get one that year, but maybe the next year you will. And so there is an amazing list of funding online that you can look. And I often, every few months, I search and I say, okay, so project funding for music 2020, or funding for this type of music 2020 grant opportunities. And then things come up. And so I'm always looking for that. And then also just reaching out to organizations and going in on the webinars and the question and answer sessions to help start understanding the process of what they're looking for in the applications. Because I think especially for our young emerging artists that have been in music school, they might not have that training of how to apply for a grant. So I think that it's really important to do your research, because it's a little bit of a different process than we're used to in our writing style from school. So just, there's a lot of resources. Don't feel shy about reaching out to those organizations and saying, okay, what are you looking for? I want to make sure that my application's complete. I want to make sure I have everything together. Make sure your resume and your bio and everything is up to date all the time, so you're not scrambling to do that, because I've been in that position before. So it's important to keep your stuff up to date, and then just apply to as many things as possible, and keep trying. Don't get down, because sometimes it's hard in the beginning. I've applied to grants that I have not gotten, believe me, and you just keep on trying, and then eventually one comes in and it's really special.
Wonderful. I would add to that, just amplify the point you made about the webinars, because oftentimes you think, oh, I know about me, I know my music, I know my artistry, my practice, but you are spot on. It's a different language. It is a different kind of language. It's almost academic, almost scholarly.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You have a piece of yourself in there, because
right.
It's like, and what's your impact? So for sure, attending the webinars just advances your thinking and your process around it. So congratulations on
thank you
receiving the award.
Thank you
and
so much.
Tell us about the new music.
So I have a couple different projects that I'm working on. I know some people have been really waiting on some stuff from me. There's a couple hiccups in the way, and I had a project done that actually isn't going to be able to come out because of some business industry things that happened along the way. So it was a really beautiful, beautiful learning experience for me about um, what I how to understand my artistry and just art in general, because I think for me the loss of a project, especially my first project, is like you've spent so much time on it. It's like your baby, and you're like, okay, you put all of your eggs about who you are as an artist into that project. But I had to remember that I'm so much more than one set of music that I was going to release. I am me, so I can do it again, and it was a snapshot at the time, and now I'm going to make another snapshot, and it's going to be even better.
So how long did it take you to, that's a pretty, I would say, mature, grown up, strong, healthy position to take, that, after graduating from the Manhattan School of Music and being in New York, deciding to stay in New York, landing a record deal, and then that not working out as planned and having to walk away from that. It sounds like you're on the other side of it. So kudos to you. And what do you think, what attributed to you being able to release it and let it go, and then begin the process of new compositions and new ideas?
I think it was shifting my mental space and my attitude into appreciation for time and learning, and really the blessings that learning and ability to learn things through experience gives you. And I'm really thankful for all of the people that I met along that whole process, and I'm still in touch with a lot of them. And it wasn't, it was a switching from saying, wow, I lost this giant thing, to saying, wow, look how much I learned, and look how many new skills I developed, and look how much really a minute of being like, okay, I am a great artist and I can do this again, because it's important to have that confidence in yourself. And also really wonderful family and friends and people around me that helped me get to that place as well. Because, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And I think as a young artist, you're ever evolving, and your mental state is just as important as what you're producing. And that's what I'm learning about at the time, to just really make sure that I'm keeping in touch with myself as an artist, but also like myself as a person. How do I feel about this? It's not just about, this is what I made today. It's like, how do I feel about what I made, and what did I learn in that process, and how did I get from A to B?
Absolutely. Everything is a lesson. So
Exactly.
it's a blessing or a lesson.
Exactly. Or both,
Both. Most times, both. So right on. So tell us a little bit about the music that we are about to hear.
Yes. So I have, it's really special, because it's coming together. If it's evolving, it's a few months off, but it's really me finding the sound of mixing a lot of genres and music that I have grown up with and been exposed to, and therefore I'm a mix of those things, and figuring out how to translate that into my own sound, or a sound that I feel like is honest and true to who I am. And so it has also figuring out how I want to incorporate the flute, because it's such an important and special part of me, because I have a lot of vocal music right now, is like, how do I make that an integral part of everything that I'm doing? So am I layering it into the composition? Is it underneath? Is it the backbone for the whole thing? Is it in the front? Is it a soloistic instrument, or is it an accompaniment to the voice? So just figuring out all those things. Definitely going to, I'm excited, because no one has heard any of what my music is. So I'm really, really excited for people to hear it. And I'm working on it as we speak, and a couple different ways. I think certain projects will have, their own feel. But I'm working on an EP right now to hopefully release in the near future.
So are you working on two different projects, or you're putting your efforts towards the EP that will be released?
Working on two different ones, because I also have the grant as well that I was blessed to get. So that's a separate project that I'm I actually submitted an idea for them. So I'm going to do that one as well.
Before we listen to the music, I do have a question for you. I know that when you and your brother, Samora Pinderhughes, I don't think we've
Yes,
said
shout
his
out.
name,
The best.
Samora, and
Everything I
is your
know.
name pronounced Ayodele or Ayodele? Ayodele.
Ayodele. Yeah, that's my middle name.
I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Yeah.
So you and Samora, I read that you lived in Cuba when you guys were younger. So can you talk a little bit about your travels as a young person? I mean, young like under 10 or under 5, and how that introduction to different cultures and activism informs your work even now.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really special time. And I was the youngest. I'm the youngest of the two of us. And so I was 7 when we went there. And I mean, musically, the incredible thing about that is that it's the most amazing musical culture to see as a young person, because not only is it just their training is such an incredible high level, but music is everywhere that you go. So it was new for me to see it really integrated in every part of everyone's culture. Literally you walk down the street and it's everywhere, and then you go into every cultural place and it's everywhere, and not only music but dance, and not only dance but laughter and people talking, and like it was just a different experience for me to really see that as a part of their culture in such a major way. It was also where I started studying with an amazing flute player there who was very, very hard on me, and he was like, "You're gonna get this right." And I was 7, and so it was amazing training, and I'm so thankful for him. Also, rhythm wise, I mean, my basis for all of my rhythm and everything that I am comes from all of our Afro-diasporic music, including Cuba. And so I think when I look back, from a more like academic standpoint of thinking about how I play, my rhythm is all based on that. And so having that as a beginning, I think really strengthened my rhythmic sensibilities and the way that I hear rhythm, because their rhythm is so much more, they have so many things going on in the music. You're hearing the offbeats, you're hearing the on, you're hearing rhythms coming together, you're hearing claves coming at the same time. So my rhythmic sensibilities when I came back from there was so much stronger than when I left from here to go there.
Even at that young age, I can
Oh
imagine.
yeah.
And it was fabulous to see you up on that bandstand at the Blue Note with all men. You were the only woman up there.
Yeah.
and I dare I say alpha men too, in a beautiful way, and I just want to shout out again, Christian, for bringing together. You talk about the African diaspora, the sounds on that stage, and did you perform with Weedy as well at the Blue Note?
He was there. Yeah, I mean, well, we've been playing the Blue Note for many years. He joined us in the last 2 years. He's been in the band, which has been amazing. And yeah, Blue Note, Harlem Stage, all types of stuff. So yeah.
It's great. Okay, so
Actually, that was the last show we did before coronavirus hit. Was the Blue Note this year.
And I was supposed to come 2 days later because I was on Africa, so I was like so ready to see
I know.
the show. The last time I saw Christian at the Blue Note and you were there, I was in the corner, way up by the bar.
Next time I have to get you a seat right in the front.
Exactly. I think he did, but I couldn't get there. Anyway, tell us what we are preparing to experience with this.
Yes. So this next track is actually, shout out to my brother. It's a composition that he wrote. It's called Milk and Honey. It's never been recorded by the two of us. He has a separate recording that didn't come out, but we have, when I heard it, I was like, you gonna let me sing it? Because I wasn't on the original track. So it's a beautiful, beautiful composition, and we performed it duo for many different occasions throughout the years. And we added a little something to the end, actually, that was kind of like a medley. So you'll hear me singing, you'll hear me playing flute. And yeah, no one has heard this before. It hasn't been, except for in concerts. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
A debut, a premiere.
Yes.
A world premiere. Awesome. So we're going to listen to the track. We're going to experience you working, and then we're going to have a conversation and let folks come in and ask you questions. How about that?
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Monique.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.